You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence.com. I'm Mike, and today we're talking paper. Lots of papers. Really just one paper in a bunch of different sizes. So these were given to me for review by Lisa Vanness over at Vanness Pens. Go check them out for these guys, or check them out at a pen show. They're going to be at Baltimore Pen Show this weekend, and probably lots of others, because they're at a lot of pen shows. And the reason that she hooked me up with these is because she thought it would be good for people to see what Midori is doing now, because maybe people aren't familiar with it, or they're not sure what's going on with these sizes, that kind of thing. So about a year ago, maybe a bit under, Midori decided that they were going to change up the sizes of their cotton paper. Now you can still get the regular Midori in like regular sizes, A5, A6, B6, B sizes, that kind of thing. And this is that sort of, it's sort of an off-white creamy paper, super good with all kinds of inks and stuff. It's usually ruled, that kind of jazz, or graph. But these, on the other hand, are F sizes. So you can see here, this is F3, this is an F2, this one is an F0. It would say that if I still had the packaging. I didn't keep the packaging for some reason. But you can see on here that this is going to be a slightly different size just from, like, look, this is an A6. And usually, when they go from A6 to A5 and that sort of thing, they just like sort of double the paper size, right? So if you have like an A5, like this guy right here, the A6 is half of it. So you go like that. You go like that, and you have an A6. Well, the F sizes are a little bit different. And so this is a thing that kind of ticks some people off because, you know, we've all got notebook covers, like probably lots of notebook covers, and those notebook covers are sized for the A and B sizes, and they're not sized for this weirdo F size. So that kind of ticked people off. But the reason they went to F sizes, say Midori on their website and such, is that F stands for figure, and that it is a French standard that is based on the golden ratio, and that's supposed to be better for portraits and landscapes and all that kind of thing. So they're really kind of aiming this at drawing. So this is like meant to be pencil or chalk or coal or whatever. But these are kind of meant to be drawing notebooks. Now, do I think a size of notebook can like make you a better artist? Nah, I don't think so. But look, I don't know. I'm not an arter. So if you're an artist, then let me know if the size of the paper makes your drawing better. I don't know. Maybe it does. And so these guys don't really fit in a lot of notebooks anymore. Midori does make their own notebooks for, I think, the F2 and F3. I'm not sure they make one for the F0, but the F0 actually nicely fits inside A5 notebook covers. So this is a notebook cover from Kernow Leatherworks. You can check them out on the interwebs. I mean, any old A5 will work. This is just what I had handy. And you slot that in there. And yeah, no problems. Like, it's a little bit shorter than your standard stuff. A little bit shorter this way too. You got like a little bit of slack, but not too much. I think that fits perfectly. And actually, I kind of like that a lot. It works out really well in this notebook. So if you get this F0 size, you can totally slot it into your A5 notebook holders, and it'll work just fine. Now, when you get to the F2s and F3s, clearly that's not gonna work, right? These sizes are a little bit different, and so let's like look at some comparable sizes and see where these things fit in the hierarchy of the A's and B's, and then I'll show you how some writing looked in this, because I've written in it with a bunch of different things. Some friends wrote in it with a bunch of different things, so it's worth checking out. So if you have A6, then this is bigger, obviously, and then you have this, which is A5, which is kind of a little bit bigger yet, and then you've got this B5 right here, which is a kind of a weird size, this B5, but like whatever, it works. And then you've got in there somewhere, you got this guy, which is the F2, so it's a little bit smaller than a B5, but like it's a little bit smaller this way, but a little bit bigger this way. It's just kind of a very different sort of sizing. And then you've got, let's see, is that A5? This isn't exactly A5. This is a black and red notebook. This is 8 1/4 by 5 7/8. So this fits in here somewhere. So here's the thing about notebooks. Like, a lot of us got kind of bent out of shape when they went to these F sizes because, like, it's a weird size and we can't fit it in anything. Well, like, Rhodia did that a long time ago. This dot book here, this reverse book, it doesn't fit in anything either. I mean, it's a totally weird size. It's like a weirder size than any of these others. Actually, when I line it up and I don't use the the spirals, it's like the same width as this F3. So if you wanted something that's like a reverse book, but a little bit taller, this F3 actually kind of works. But I think these are going to be quite nice for people, honestly, because, I mean, even though they don't fit in a notebook, like, you don't really need to put these in a notebook. The covers are pretty cool. They got this paraffin paper stuff. You can put stickers on it if you like. You can decorate it. Don't try to decorate it with water because I think that'll just bead right off because of the paraffin, but these things are actually way tougher than they look, and they have some other really nice features. So aside from the size, which is admittedly a little bit wonky, and I kind of wish they had stuck with the regular sizes. Yeah, sure. But these actually work pretty well for a lot of the ways that I find myself using notebooks recently, which is I really like to use them landscape. What is going on with my focus? That is weird. All right. So this is the F0 size. And a cool thing about these is that the thread binding on them lets them just lay flat. Just lets them lay flat. And you've got this little bookmark in here. You can turn to the next page. And a thing that I've actually found myself doing a lot with notebooks, especially notebooks that are not like necessarily a normal size, like your traveler size notebooks, like this guy, what I tend to do is I tend to write this way. And I just I landscape these suckers, which with a lot of notebooks, if they don't want to stay closed, that can be a pain because you got the notebook like trying to close on you this way, and you're used to sort of putting a hand over here and writing, like this, if you want to hold it down. But if you're doing this, you have to reach across. But if you're writing landscape in these guys, no problem at all. Like you can just flip to the next page. It's no big deal. I give it a little bit of one of these actions, some of that. And it's perfectly fine. Like, this is laying nice and flat, and I dig it. So that's especially good for this big one, which I definitely see myself probably using in landscape. This F3 is quite a large size notebook. Let's see, does it have other dimensions in it aside from the F3? Yeah, it is 273 by 210 millimeters. So this is kind of a big one. Like a coloring book size, basically. But it also lays perfectly flat. I mean, if you're sketching and drawing, this is great for that because, like, it's not going to interrupt your sketching, your sketchingness. But if you're writing landscape or something, and actually these might be big enough. I don't know, do I want to write over here? I haven't really decided because I kind of like to flip them like this, and then just do different pages of landscape. It's just kind of a thing that's been appealing to me lately when I write with them. But these are nice. And the covers are good, and the paper is great. Let's look in the back of this one right quick. And I'll show you. There we go. Here's a page that got used when I was in Pen Club, because we had a paper day. And so I brought a bunch of these to show off, because that's what I do when I have paper that I want people to know about. I bring it. And so you get a bunch of like high mics and those kind of things in here. People are like writing in it with different stuff. This is mostly mine, but I've tried everything in here from like stamp ink to pencil to all kinds of stuff. I have no idea what these are, but definitely some kind of fountain pen, little fountain pen here, little fountain pen here. So these are all written in fountain pen ink for sure. So are these. These are brush pens, like this Sailor little Shikiori brush pen. That's this one right here, which I think is that is a delightful color. A friend of mine, Steph, gave me this. She found it in Japan, and she knows that I like these weirdo colors. And this really works for me. It's like a Ricky Cha color. Actually, is it literally Ricky Cha? I don't know. It doesn't say anything on here in English that I can read, but I'm guessing this is probably some Ricky Cha color. Anyways, so that works perfectly. I got this orange brush pen I was using here. I got some pencil on here, which ends up looking kind of nice. Like you get this very pencil-y texture because the paper has just a little bit of texture. Your pencil doesn't skate or skip or whatever, and sometimes pencils can do weird stuff on paper that is perfectly smooth or coated, and this stuff just isn't. It's really kind of meant for that. Then I got some pigment inks here. I got this. I just went through a slide with a highlighter. It's actually a mild liner, which works very nicely in here. I actually did smear this Cala pigment ink when I did it the first time. Let's see if it does now. No, now it's fine. That was still wet actually when I did that. But these pigment inks work great in here. They look awesome. It lets it get that really cool texture you get in pigment inks sometimes, which is it's like shading you get from a lot of inks, or maybe even sheen or something. It's weird. Pigment inks are kind of weird, and I love them. This is a big old Sharpie. This is just stamp ink. What is this? This is a Studio G pigment pad. Just good mail. I got this from my friend Anna Reinert at her site. And then on the back, You can see the only ones that came through are Sharpie, because nothing defeats Sharpie, like, at all. And then this is the Pilot Address pen, which is this guy. That came through. But everything else, gel, ballpoint, fountain pen, everything else is totally handled by this, and it's a delight to write on. Like, it's got such a nice feel to it. So I definitely suggest you check these out. Give them a little bit of, give them some of your time. You can find these at Vanness Pens and probably elsewhere as well, but I don't know if I've actually seen it in any other shops. You might be able to check like Jet Pens or something like that and find them, but it's probably not going to be super likely anywhere else. And the F0 goes for $16, $24 for the F2, and then $28 for the F3. And these are 200 pages, so this is a little bit of a price hike over the previous version like this, but these are, as you can see in the back, it'll tell me 176 pages. These are 200 pages, so they're a little bit more expensive, like a couple of bucks, I want to say, maybe $3 more than the other, but they're also longer by 24 pages, so that's not nothing. That's pretty good. So anyway, check these out. I think that the extra expense is totally worth it, especially for this one. I think if you're going to put this in an A5 cover, that's really great. That's what I do, and I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, I will see y'all later on in another video. Like, comment, subscribe. I know half of y'all are watching these videos and like aren't subscribing. Like, hit that little subscribe button. Like, give me a little subscription. Make me feel good about myself. You know, people like it when you subscribe. All right, thank you very much, Vanness, for sending these for review. And check me out at a pin show. If you're going to Baltimore Pin Show this weekend, check me out there. If not, join me on the live streams, and I'll see you there. All right, that's it. Peace out. Though I don't even remember what I've said, because I've done so many takes. What are you doing? What are you doing? Camera? There you go. Yeah, chill out, man. Chill out.